Good evening, everyone. Here we are taking a look at the market outlook for January the 9th, 2013. And we're going to just review the plan we had, and we're going to just pick one pair. We're going to choose the euro from yesterday for a quick review of the price action. So we had the short in the late Asia session. That did work out, and you see that here. It was the blue line that we'd marked up yesterday on the charts. And at that point, that was enough pips for the day. If you use that across three pairs, no problem, right? So uh, the new zones are on all the daily charts. This will be sent out after the video today. So at any rate, the short worked out. The long, however, had issues, but it did not fail. Okay. The key point here I want to stress with this is that it didn't work out exactly. And I had mentioned one or two entries on a couple pairs that it was just a little bit too early because what we had today was something that has been common across the market. I've seen it, I don't know, around 3 out of 12 months is that the 10 o'clock trade turns into the 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern trade. And it just takes longer for that to work out. So your 10 o'clock spot trade, which should have happened today, there was news at 10, but all in all, we should have got some more volatility than we did at that point. So some people probably got stopped out around here after they had tried, some other entries here possibly. It was really though, if you took a fib, you could have worked with that, and re-entering on this, proved to be worthy if you're looking for the long. The long worked out. The plan stayed the same. The timing of it, however, was not ideal. Okay, so the key with that is, again, do you want to trade off the daily charts? Which in that case, this would have made your pips, right? You would have had your alarm, you would have took it, and either way, you would have been able to get out with pips. And if you took the short at London or at the Asian session there, then you were doing pretty good. That worked out much better. Then we had this, right, which was near the time that I was looking for a subsequent come down and then here bounce from this level. And what it did is it trickled down and stopped some of the people out in the room, unfortunately, guys. Okay, but if you look at the fib theory, you should have had that stop beneath there. Okay, perhaps I wasn't clear enough about that. I do apologize if that was the case. But Fibonacci-wise, you should have, if you wanted to control the plan and work from daily to daily plan, so the plan doesn't change until the next day. So if you want to be flat by 11 a.m. Eastern or flat by 12 p.m. Eastern time, then just do that. And there's nothing wrong with maybe taking a loss today, right, on this pair at all. So there was other pips to be had, no problem. And taking a 10, 20 pip loss if you took the one entry that we had, that was good. And if you didn't move that to break even, and let it ride down, and if you let it ride down, go ahead and just widen the stop. Either take the stop at the level, okay, of the pin bar, for example. If you're taking a price action entry, a typical price action entry that we're discussing, there are several, and we'll get into more stuff like that. But higher low scenario, but it's really a pin bar. It's more of a rejection type situation. Then if you're going to go ahead and let it come down a little bit more, then go ahead and use the Fibonacci theory to make sure you get beneath that 5 pips plus. Okay, and everything would have been all right. So I'm not sure if anybody really got hurt. I don't think they should have, and there was no problem on that. We just had a thin volatility day, and that's just what happens. So, looking at the euro for today will be the next thing we do. Just doing a quick scan, though, and going around the chart. We had similar scenarios across the board here. And, the Aussie here is still between these levels. If you notice, I've changed the first and second, or first and third, and replaced the second one with a blue line. So, and this blue line merely is basically, this is a mental pivot point of price across people's minds, psychology based sort of thing. Just watch that level, see how it reacts. It is also based on wick action, price levels as well, but it's not a red zone anymore. Okay, this now is merely still a 104 or a 105.55 play, either the long or the short side. And I want to go ahead and look at the euro yen here, pretty much first for today's trades. And we had that. We had the daily price action entry there, and if you would have just took that and not got into any sort of intraday trading, you'd be looking pretty good right now. We came down here. I actually took an entry on this. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. And I took an entry on this, and actually it got stopped out. I took an entry, and I had a stop at 104.10, and I got stopped out on that. Okay, but what did happen? It came down here to this next level, and at this point, I did not wait for the candle to close. I waited for this to be rejected, took a long, and simply exited right here at this signal. And that was basically a continued short, going along with the theme of what we're looking for, a pullback. The yen is struggling. It needs but the last couple of days it's had its Wheaties, and it's looking to come back, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So next we're going to be looking at the next long possibility, but first the short one. So pips to be made there. The first one didn't quite work out, but the time of day just was a little too early on that one. So didn't lose really much. It was like a 10 pip loss on that. All right, let's go back out. Just to do the rest of the scan before we get into the euro yen to start with. And oil plan worked out. Got stopped out on that short suggestion for Asia yesterday, but the plan worked out ultimately. And really, this thing is at the top. I'm biased short on it, without a doubt. Euro odd, obviously showing here, the Aussie is still just struggling and not doing much. And the euro pound, right? Looking at the daily chart here, sort of looks like it could get a possibility here for the pound to have a little more strength if we're able to get to the upside. So, dollar index real quick before we get into our real entries. This is more of a correlation play. So let's go ahead and start with these and work at starting with these each day. Dollar index to me is neither bullish or bearish. It's neutral. And I'm making a new term up called a price box. I'm not sure if anybody's ever said that before, but all this is to me is using time of day and a shorter term chart to determine and making sure I'm at, if we're at key levels, then using that. But if we're stuck in these sort of levels, it's going to be just a 15-minute thing and looking at the euro odd and the euro pound to determine entries on the major pairs that we're covering each day in the classroom in the London and New York session. So let's start with the euro yen. What is the next short on the euro yen? Well, we have to expect that we're going to be heading up here, and I think in Asia we're going to get another reshort opportunity before this red zone, and really, spiking up to it is really the ideal situation, similar to some candle action we had here. Either way, we have to consider this now a zone, right? So I'm biased short on this for the big long re-entry. We'll see if the fundamentals maybe continue to change and cause some other confusion, but we had a fairly significant short on this today. It doesn't look like that much, but it's the biggest thing the yen's done with the dollar in 2 years, from a colleague. I get that information. It was a nice outlook he gave there. Pretty much now it's at the level double bottom where I took the long earlier. I'm not sure if you guys got into it or not, but we're back here now, right? Pin bar heading up. Assuming Asia's taking this up, and we're going to London short it. That's the first scenario. I think the London short will be able to get break even, and we just cannot discount the fact that after that we are going to get some other issues with higher lows that we're going to provide some pips. All right, so I had 113.01 as a level here. I have this new blue line, and these blue lines usually are what they're going to do. They're going to turn into zones at some point if price stays around for like 3 or 4 days. So as you see here, this has happened twice. and this eventually is going to turn into a zone if price action is verified off of it, because we are nothing more than hanging around this area, right? So I think there's still an opportunity here at the 113 and change level up to 113.30. Okay, I've got this thing at 113.01. That's just the level I have. But this is, it's a little bit of a zone. Don't discount the fact, but the room you're going to have between this is up to you. So if you're around the charts, if you get down there, that's 70 pips. I'm not sure that's going to be the London play before we're able to go up a little further and maybe even get more pips out of that. So just basically take all these levels and manage this to the point where your buy is short for the pullback, and when you get to around 112.40, I'm thinking is where you need to really look for the long, and that'll be the place where things will start to likely either consolidate at the top of this area, or we're going to take the next break. So 112.40 right now, and I've also got the 111 area up to a little bit over 112 as a green zone, but 112.40, if you see here, I have is a blue line, and those are basically intuitive areas on the chart that may or may not turn into zones. Okay, that's the euro yen. Moving forward here, we're going to take this a little quicker, and on this we have to assume we have to take a short now at this point. Was looking for 2-day long. Let's go ahead and just talk about this on the 15-minute chart. If you're still in this, I think at this point, if you don't break this by 10 a.m. Tokyo, go ahead and take your profit and start looking for a short on this. Otherwise, keep it and see if you cannot get up to this level at 31. I think it's possible, okay, 31.10, but it makes more sense for this to happen here to me. And there's some more areas here that could provide some problems. So if you're still in the short, personally, what I'm going to do here fairly shortly is just take the profit, right? Depending on the hourly closes or opens on the Asian session. So looking at 8:18 a.m. in Tokyo now, it's merely a matter of 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock either I'm taking profit or this thing's riding up and I'm looking for a short in London and a cash out stop and reverse situation. So taking profit on the long and then taking the short subsequently. All right. Pound dollar. Simple as this. I think we still have the crutch 5 EMA on the charts, but short the 5 EMA 61. Okay, short 61. That's what I see there on the pound. The euro pound, like I said, will be something to look at, but same thing is happening now. You can assume that the pound is going up just like the euro, and it just may get more pips on the upside before the potential short opportunity. So the plan is similar to yesterday. It's just now a little more verified that the long may not work out for 2 days like we had anticipated. So long-term wise, really, the bias has not changed. We're still looking at some levels we're not able to break on the majors to the upside. So Aussie dollar, nothing to talk about there. All you have to do is look at this area, spend about 30 seconds looking at that, and you'll know what to do. All right, we've done that. CL, talked about that, and dollar index. And the last thing here we're going to look at is gold. And I've been talking about this. I'm going to repeat this again. 4-hour high or low situation. Looking for a daily pin bar to the north side for a 2013 trade of the year, right? Let's look at the daily chart. Do we have it? Well, we had this pin bar, right? All the way off of this major here support level, ended up back at support. So I suggested we wait longer and you either try to jam something in or not. Okay, so New York pips were made today on a bread trade. But as far as getting into the long-term trade, this candle has closed yet again back at resistance. So I think we need to wait. If you're not already in this, or if you held a piece, okay. But as far as a reload and putting some, a better lot on that. Put some more money down on it for a long-term trade. If you get my drift, um, it's not ready yet. I don't think it's ready yet. I think really we're back at a mean average, and it's not quite there. But we've got 3 days here trading left, including the day we're talking about, and I think that's pretty much covered everything. It's pretty simple here today. We're looking to short the majors now. They've been rejected, and we can't discount that there's going to be a higher low attempt, and you'll be able to try that as well. And trying to float that up during Asia is optimal. And on the future stuff with gold on the long-term trade, we're not ready to go, but we will look at another bread trade for tomorrow and maybe get another 70, 80 pips out of it. As far as CL goes, the oil crude chart, I'm biased short, and I will explain the outlook on that, or the actual implementation and the trade plan on that, as we get closer to the New York NYMEX opening. That's your outlook for January the 9th, 2013. Have a great evening.